why do people not vote? So the first practical recommendation for you, as I said, was to be aware of the procedural obstacles and the democratic deficits in your own areas. The second is to go out and do focus groups among these people and listen to them, because actually you'll realize that people are experiencing politics very differently than you are, and maybe different than you're informing. So the first point you see, this is the best summary slide I could give you, was a survey done among 10,000 Europeans in Brussels, and half of them said that they didn't vote in the local elections because they're scared of obligatory voting. Now, the reason why they're scared, we heard from focus groups, I'm going to receive a fine of 500 euros. I'm not going to be here on election day, and I don't want to get into trouble. If I register to vote here in Belgium, I'm going to lose the right to vote in my home country. I don't want to vote in Belgium for the rest of my life. All of these things are myths. No one has been fined for not voting in Belgium since 2003. No one loses their right to vote for voting in local elections in another country, because that would be against the EU directive. You can vote by proxy by letting any other registered voter vote in your place. You can deregister as a voter at any time after the election, and that's your right under EU law. So, interestingly, authorities were not communicating about the obligation to vote. They were communicating that people had the right to vote without communicating the obligation to vote. And you can see that there are a number of other points where people said, I didn't know I met the conditions, I didn't know I would be here on election day, I wanted to vote, but the voter registration deadline was too late, the procedure was too complicated, I didn't know enough about the candidates. You can see that for only 20% they said it was because I wasn't interested. So all of the other reasons that I mentioned are also all linked to myths, because registering to vote is the easiest thing that a person will do in Belgium. All they have to do is fill out a one-page form, and they can send it by mail or email. They can easily vote by proxy if they need to. So, as I said, when you do focus groups and you look at research and listen to the populations, you will realize that you are not communicating the essential information that you think you are. Second step? Right, so what we were able to do in the space of 5 months is we were able to double the voter registration rate in Brussels when it fell all across the rest of Belgium. And as a result of getting more people signing up to vote, we saw parties actually starting to do voter registration and turn to EU citizen candidates. And as a result, we had 300 EU citizen candidates in Brussels, and 25 of them were elected. Next slide. And now I wanted to give you an idea of what changed. You know, why did it increase so much from 2012 to 2018? Well, I can tell you that most of the communes didn't do much more than they were doing in 2012. So those that were the most proactive administrations in 2012 were also proactive in 2018, sending local letters, partnering with local NGOs to maybe do 1 or 2 events, and to try and have information on their website early, and also in a comprehensive manner. What really changed in Brussels? Well, 1/3 of the increase we attribute to the fact that the Brussels region got involved, and they sent actually a letter to all of the potentially eligible voters. Which again, only, as you can see, 7 of the 19 communes decided to do that proactively on their own. The region also made a very simple website in 3 languages, including in English. And it also created a very simple brochure in English with our help to simplify the language that they were learning and actually address the frequently asked questions that they were hearing from citizens. But what you might notice here is that by doing events ourselves as VoteBrussels with our partners, we were able to directly reach thousands of voters. And you'll see also on Facebook, we were reaching 50,000 potential voters every week. So what I want you to realize is that you need to change the way that you're working. Because it's not that these people are not out there, it's that you're not using the proper channels to address them. So next slide. So what did we do? As I said, we focused on making partnerships with the official authorities so that there was an official brochure that gave all of the right information. So that when people said, oh no, I will lose my right to vote, and we say that's not true, which is rather odd to tell someone that they don't know their own rights, we could tell them that the Brussels region here had the proper information. Or when we told them it was easy to vote by proxy, again, we were not lying to them. They could get this information from the government. But producing a brochure is nice, but if you don't have partners who are going to put this into the hands of all of your EU citizens and talk to them, then your brochure is going to go nowhere. Same with any nice website that you generate. You actually need to put this multilingual information into the hands of citizens. Next slide. So what did we do? We recruited through the expat press, and we were able to directly train 100 EU citizens. Most of them were newcomers. Most of them did not speak French very well. Most of them were working, so they were not free during the day. All of this explains why many local authorities and Belgian organizations don't reach these people, because they expect that they have to speak the official language, and they expect that these volunteers will only come when they work, which doesn't ever happen. But by doing events then at lunchtime, in the evening, on the weekends, we were able to train 100 EU citizens in all of the key information that I mentioned to you. So we also gave this training to any EU citizen who was running as a local candidate, because they were actually receiving very little information and support from their own political parties. And then what we did was we coordinated and motivated these volunteers. So they got us invitations to events, to organizations, and we made sure then that if we were given 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, that those volunteers, often with me as their coordinator, were able to give those presentations and directly hand out application forms, email and mail addresses, and our key information. What I recommend to you here is, again, when you have volunteers, you create openings. So it is very difficult to organize your own electoral events and expect that the average citizen wants to go to a 2-hour event like this on elections. However, if you actually get existing organizations and events to invite you, people are very willing to give you 20 minutes of their time to listen to what you have to say. So because we worked with volunteers who were parents at schools, who were colleagues at work, who were leaders of organizations, it was very easy for us to get these insiders to invite us. And you need to listen to where your citizens are. So in Brussels, we realized that most non-Belgians work in offices where 80% of the people are non-Belgians. And while they're very busy with travel and work and family obligations, they can give you 20 minutes over lunch. So we did a lot of lunchtime events, and we also realized that most of the events targeting non-Belgians are all in the European quarter, so it was actually quite easy for us to attend 80 events. And as you saw, we reached a lot of people through our work with social media and with media. We became the main experts on voter registration, and since this concerns 1/3 of the Brussels population, it became interesting for the mainstream press. But we mostly focused on the expat press, media, television, radio. This press is often ignored by the local authorities and by mainstream organizations because it's seen as poor quality. But this press, we realized, is actually what our target audience reads every day. It's available in all different languages. These journalists are really excited about the topic, and they don't have a lot of content. So it was very easy for us to get into content and magazines in English, French, Polish, German, Italian, and we were then able to do a lot on Facebook and Twitter with targeted ads targeting EU citizens. That meant that, as I said, we were seen by 50,000 every week. And we then only added content where it was fun and interesting and missing. So you can go on vote.brussels and take the kinds of online quizzes that we created and that went quite viral in the last month of the campaign, where we really took our information that you could see in a PowerPoint and we communicated that same information in really fun quizzes. So we realized our audience would be much more likely to learn everything they needed to know this way. Voilà, that's all I wanted to really say, just to say at the end of this, we did come up with recommendations. So if you want to know specifically what we recommend to local or regional authorities, you can learn more about this through our evaluation report, which is coming out. So, as I said, we're really here to help you improve your practices, because with just a very little amount of money, we were able to get 25,000 new citizens voting in the election. So imagine what you'll be able to do.